Are you over 50 and struggling with knee pain whenever you run? Well, this affects thousands of people, and in my physio clinic in Southwest London that specializes in treating knee pain, we see hundreds of people, and people over 50 have specific problems that need to be addressed with specific solutions, and they need a tailored approach. Today, we're going to go through the biggest mistakes that you can make when trying to treat knee pain in runners, and also go through a step-by-step plan of how we would get someone better with the same problem. Studies show that patellofemoral pain is one of the most common running injuries that we see, and there's lots of reasons why that is that we'll go through in today's video. Now, runner's knee or patellofemoral pain is a type of condition which isn't necessarily linked to damage, but more tissue irritation. Now, this is basically where the two joint surfaces that meet together in the patellofemoral joint, where the kneecap slides on what's called the trochlea, which is a groove in your thigh bone, become irritated basically. So we see at a lower level discomfort with bending the knee, discomfort with climbing stairs, sitting for long periods, difficulty standing for long periods, and in the more severe end we can see knee swelling, joint stiffness, and difficulty with sleeping and activities like that as well. Now, the most common reason this injury happens is due to someone doing more than their body can tolerate. So they increase their training too fast, perhaps after, let's say, Christmas, when you've had 2 or 3 weeks off running, you go back to your normal routine and bang, your knee gets irritated. And that can be where a training error is made. Or for example, after a holiday or after you've been sick for a period of time and you haven't been able to run. These are all common times that someone could overdo it and start to get patellofemoral pain. Other common things that can cause patellofemoral pain or be associated with them could be an old hip injury, a old foot and ankle injury, which is altering the biomechanics through the knee and is reducing how much the patellofemoral joints can tolerate. That could be something to consider. Muscle imbalances is quite a broad term, and there's plenty of people with muscle imbalances that don't have patellofemoral pain. But if we have an overactive muscle group, which is making more load go into the front of the knee, that would be a risk factor as well. Now, the first mistake that people make when treating knee pain in runners over 50 is using too much rest. If we imagine that the amount of stress that goes through your knee when you run is here, and there is lots of benefits to stressing your knee, because what happens is your body adapts to what you're asking it to do, so it kind of gets quite resilient due to the running that you're doing. And sometimes when we have an injury, if that completely stops, then how much your knee can tolerate starts to reduce very, very quickly. And let's say someone rests for 6 weeks, their load tolerance has reduced by quite a lot, and they go back to their normal 5K or whatever it was they used to do. That big gap that's there is often a reason why the pain comes back, and then they get stuck in this kind of boom bust cycle. Now, sometimes what's a more sensible option is just reducing how much you're doing by 50%, by even sometimes 75%, or even reducing the intensity of your running. So running a lot slower, putting lots of breaks whilst you're running. So lots of kind of 1 to 2 minute periods of walking, just to break up that cycle and allow your body to maintain some level of running and not reduce how much that load tolerance, how much your body can tolerate, whilst the knee is irritating while it's settling down. The second most common mistake that people make is relying on hands-on treatment. Now, hands-on treatment is great. It's really, feels quite good. And there's lots of benefit, and you see lots of athletes getting massage and taping, and there are various different electronic devices which feel, good and look great. Maybe there's a bit of a placebo there as well, because, they sort of turn the machine on, you're kind of thinking that must be something going on. But in reality, when we look at the research, hands-on treatment, passive treatments don't do the work of increasing how much your body can tolerate, which is what we need when someone is injured. What's a much better solution is using strength training and rehabilitation. Strength training is a way in which we can build up resilience, reduce pain, and actually improve performance. Often we can treat an injury as an opportunity to really boost someone's performance and get them back to a level where they were even better than when they were before they were injured. That's a really key consideration, because there's lots of other benefits to strength training. Boosts your well-being, prevents against injuries more globally, protects against tendon injuries, and Again, it's good for performance as well. The third biggest mistake that I see people make is waiting too long to seek professional help. There's certain times when trying to self-manage an injury is appropriate. So if the pain is very, very mild, it's not been there for very long, you may try a few different things that your friends recommend or that you might read and do your own research on. If we're getting more moderate to severe pain or pain that's lasting for quite a long period of time, like more than 3 weeks, that's the time to be seeking professional help, because all that happens when we see a professional is that all of the mistakes that you're making in the attempt to get better just get reduced and eliminated. So you get better, faster, and in a safer way as well. Now, if you're like any other runners that we treat, your goal is to get back to running in the fastest possible time and in the safest time. We don't want to just speed back, make loads of recovery, and then get re-injured. So they're the kind of things that are avoided when you seek professional help. Now, Instant Physio, we use our 5-step method. The first step is identifying the diagnosis, identifying the root cause, and putting together an action plan of how we can get and roadmap that person back to where they need to be. We use reverse engineering, we use some data, and that's a way in which we can track someone's progress throughout their treatment. Step 2 is where we're treating the pain. So patellofemoral pain, if it's causing issues day to day, we might use taping, hands-on treatment potentially. We might use some exercises, like isometric exercises can be quite good at reducing pain, and potentially heat or ice or any other modalities, and even medication sometimes as well. Step 3 is where we're treating the root cause. Now, this can be where we're in a lot less pain. We can really stress the knee with rehabilitation, strengthening exercises, targeting your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your calf muscles, and your glutes. And types of exercise we might be thinking there, to build up quadricep strength would be on the knee extension machine. Bulgarian split squats would be really good to help load the quadriceps and all the muscles in the back of the leg as well. Side planks are really good to build up hip abductor strength. Calf raises are important as well. And prone hamstring curls, single leg bridges are all very, very good exercises, the ones that we would recommend. Plyometric exercises of jumping based things, they're the kind of things that we might be doing at the tail end of step 3. And when we're at the point where we feel like we're ready to stress test the knee and see if it's ready to get back to running, that would be where we would be at step 4. And this is what we call the return to play testing step. So we might be doing some jumping on the spot, some running on the treadmill, and really going through all the battery of tests that we would use to make sure that knee is ready to tolerate the running that that patient wants to do. And step 5 is what we call prevent and protect. And this is where twice a week, recommending a strength program, recommending ways in which they can continue building strength and maintaining the progress that they've made. As soon as you drop everything and go back to your running, there's a very high risk of the problem coming back. And that's what we use step 5 for, to help prevent that from happening. If you have any questions about today's video, you can leave a question in the comments box and I'd be happy to help.